When you put on
RobertIDK,
you see your world and everything in it.
Today, my friends, we are going to go on a journey to uncover the truth. Why does Haminations look so young? He still looks young. We already knew he looked young 4 years ago, but now he still looks young. I know all the scientific facts, and we are going to break them down in this video. We have observed this fascinating man for several years now, and it's time to get to the heart of it.
One adult beverage, please.
Hey, punk. This here bar's for adults only.
You're still
You
too
gotta be
young.
At least 21 to consume alcoholic beverages. So hit the road.
Actually,
blade.
I'm 23,
blade.
and here's my ID.
Oh, my mistake.
Is he
little
gonna
man.
do it the whole
Here,
thing? Oh.
On the house.
Thank you.
Where's the sword?
Oh my gosh. What do I do?
Part of me, for nostalgia's sake, was hoping that he would recreate the sword sequence from the original video, but wishful thinking, I suppose.
Hi, I'm Bryson,
Hello,
and my
Bryson.
most popular video is about how I look young. But that was 3 years ago.
3 years?
A lot has happened since then, and let me tell you, I still look young. The doctor said it's because of my genes, but
Yes.
I don't know what my pants have to do with any of this.
No, that was pretty good, actually. I mean, I'm glad he acknowledged how dumb that joke was. Yes, looking young is mostly genetic. However, if you live in a coal mine for 30 years versus if you live in a spa for 30 years, one of those people will look more young and the other person will look like they lived in a coal mine. So there's a little bit of nature versus nurture here. But for the most part, for the average person, it's in our genes.
So today, we're gonna delve more into what it was like growing up as such a late bloomer.
Okay.
Looks like you also have explosionitis.
What?
No!
I developed pretty
Twice
normally
now!
at first, but I started to notice some differences when I went to middle school. The other boys started getting bigger and taller, but I stayed fun-sized, as my mom would call it.
Yeah.
I didn't really mind being a pipsqueak because it fit my vibe. I was the quiet kid who kept to himself and stayed under the radar drawing my silly little pictures.
Valid,
But
I
the
guess.
gap between me and the other boys only got worse as time went on, and this caused people to make comments and poke fun at me.
Wrong place, small fry. The elementary school
Get the
is
sword! Get the sword!
Get it?
Get the sword!
Small.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, pipsqueak.
Well, at least I know what deodorant is, Derek.
Oh! Got him. Got him. Bryson actually made a very good point there. Being outcasted, ostracized, different, whatever, not fitting in, does lead people to pursue creative things that they probably would not have pursued if they were as normal and fit in with everyone else. I know that's the case for me. I'm like the only person from my high school who decided to become a YouTuber full time. You know, before every single person wanted to become an influencer, you know? Back when it was still like a thing that only nerds did, right? And the same thing goes for the animations. If Bryson had infinite homies and wasn't different than everyone else, he probably would have never made this channel, and he probably would not be as happy with life, honestly.
I went through middle school and started high school without growing at all. I guess I'm just not like other boys.
Man, if only instead of high school, he was going to HGH school. Wow. That was, I won't come up with something better than that. Human growth hormone is, so was that not the most clever thing I've said so far? See, she's just used to these banger analogies every 5 minutes. It's like, yeah, okay.
I guess I'm just not like other boys.
Aw.
Most people just don't get me.
Have to become emo.
With you, it's just simple.
Wow.
I'm glad we're friends.
Oh no.
Sorry, who are you? At 16 years old, I was 5'2" and 80 pounds.
5'2".
I remember that because that's seriously the size I was for like 6 years. I was definitely not an average teenage boy. I was great at hide and seek, however, I could not go outside if wind speeds were too high.
I could not
So
go outside.
my parents took me to see a doctor.
Yeah, he's definitely underdeveloped. I feel bad for him because men like to
HGH.
feel like alpha males, and he obviously isn't. I mean, look at him. So I'm going to recommend testosterone treatment.
Yeah.
This was a shock to me. I knew I was small, but I generally tried to just ignore it and live my life.
And honestly, I think we talked about this last time. I don't know if it was the first Haminations video. I don't know if he talked about this in the I Look Young video, but he did talk about this in a video where, yeah, they wanted to put him on testosterone. And it's a good thing they didn't, because a few years later, he had his growth spurt finally, and now he's like 6 something. He's 6 feet tall. So he didn't need that. He was truly just a late bloomer, and I guess that's a real thing, you know? There's people who just, they bloom late, you know? So y'all made the right choice, Bryson.
I figured that being uncomfortable in your body was kind of just part of being a teenager and that everyone grows at different paces. But
Yeah.
this medical professional told me that my body wasn't manly enough and then immediately suggested TRT to a 16-year-old.
Yes.
Which I think is pretty crazy. We even got a bone
Agreed.
scan done and found out that my bone age was that of a 12-year-old.
What the heck?
Okay, here are the results of the scan. Travel home safely now. This dude's bones suck! I mean, look at it! That's just shoddy workmanship right there!
We then met with an endocrinologist and determined that I was healthy, just a late bloomer. He told me that I could choose to do the treatment or not, and I decided against
Heck
it.
no.
I'm the type of guy to kind of just let things play out. I've never dyed my hair or gotten a tattoo or a piercing. I knew that this kind of intervention didn't feel like me and that I was more of a default settings type of guy. So, despite people's comments, I did what I felt was right for me.
No, Bryson, you should have gotten face tats, bro. You would be the youngest looking person with face tats on the planet. That would have been crazy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't encourage anyone to get face tats. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
And looking back, it was arguably the more manly thing to do. I was my own
Being
man
yourself.
who did what I thought was right, regardless of people disagreeing with me.
Being yourself. is good.
Bryson, just because they're called parachute pants doesn't mean they work.
No!
Don't jump!
You can't tell me what to do. I'm my own man.
Oh, they are parachutes.
Oh.
But on a more serious note, the comments about how small I was and that I didn't look or sound my age definitely bothered me for a while, and I felt pretty insecure about it.
Yeah, understandable.
Especially when I started high school. It's part of the reason I never had any personal social media accounts. But around this time, I started my YouTube channel. It was all very new and exciting since I hardly used the internet before, except for watching funny dog videos. I made my first few videos and people were very nice, until they learned my age.
Oh,
and then it
no!
happened. My first hate comment. This guy is definitely lying about being 16. He sounds 12. I kept getting comments like that until finally I responded with, I don't care if you believe me or not. I'm 16. Stop being rude.
Honestly, Bryson, not having social media, what a great reason to not use the thing that is like the thing that is destroying everyone's brain and creativity and attention span. Honestly, I would say not having a social media is like the best side effect from this. If Bryson spent all of his time doom scrolling, he never would have made this channel. He wouldn't have made this channel. He wouldn't be where he is today. Guys, everything is pointing to me that Bryson looking young was his greatest strength in the world. So I don't think we gotta cure a darn thing.
And in that moment, I had a breakthrough. Wait a minute. If I truly didn't care, I wouldn't have felt the need to stoop to their level and respond.
Valid.
Maybe instead of projecting my issues in a futile online argument, I should be the best person I can be and only focus on what I can control. I
Nice.
can't please everyone, and no matter what I do, some people will disagree with me. And
Valid.
that's okay. A breakthrough that many people online still haven't discovered yet.
Brilliant!
I made my
Brilliant!
peace with it and accepted that I was just going to grow up differently than most boys. And that's okay. And it wasn't long
Yeah,
before
totally.
I did start growing. A few years later, I met up with one of my friends who I hadn't seen in a long time, and
Oh
he
my
was shocked
gosh,
that my
you're
plateau at
huge.
5'2" was finally over and I had shot past it to around 5'8". We hung out and ate dinner, and he said, "So like, what did they do to you to make you grow?" Nothing. We just waited. Did you think they put me in the Captain America super soldier device?
No, I think they did the procedure from this video where we talked all about being short.
You've likely hit your final height.
Oh no!
Sorry, Leo.
Is he gonna get the leg
knew that,
extensions?
I just wanted to make sure.
Is he gonna get the leg extensions. Oh my gosh, that was a classic. If you haven't seen that, you're missing out.
Did you think they put me in the Captain America super soldier device?
Yes.
Yes. And while I still look younger than I am, as the years passed, something amazing happened.
Yup.
I'm tall now.
Yup. Yup.
And while this doesn't fix the problem area, it has been a nice consolation prize for suffering through school as the short kid. The slower you bake, the farther you rise. What can I say?
I said this because I met the dude like a couple years ago, and he was so much taller than he had mentioned in any of his videos, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was worth it. All the years of pain, Bryson, were worth it. He powered through being short, and now he's rewarded with being tall. And honestly, that's the best way to be tall, because most people who just get tall quickly, they walk around like their stuff don't stink, you know? They've just been tall forever. They're like, who cares about anything? I'm tall. But Bryson knows the experience of being short, and now he can appreciate being tall. I hope he appreciates being tall. I hope he doesn't take it for granted, because
you've gone through the journey and you need to appreciate that.
By the way, homies, I do want to make a point to say something really quick. I want to give you guys a reminder that every Haminations video that I do has been copyright claimed and will get copyright claimed. So we are going to work just as hard on this video as every other video, but me and Cameron do not make any money off of these videos. So we are investing in making these videos. So if you could do me a favor and just help me out by liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and checking out some other stuff while you're here. It makes all of it worth it, and it really helps me out, and I appreciate it. But for now, I hope you're having a good time. I'm having a great time. Let's just keep it up.
I am the tallest of my siblings, standing at a whopping, drumroll please, 6'2".
What?
Please hold your applause. However, I am afraid that my theory about baking slower and rising farther will turn out all too true, because my little brother Brenner is finally starting to shoot up, and he might catch up to me. And I don't like that, because he's the little brother. I just want to grab him and squish him back down to size so I can keep my crown. It was cool when I surpassed all my older siblings, but him doing it would be cringe and stupid, so I'm not gonna allow it to happen.
Do the reverse procedure.
There, fixed. Despite my cartoonish proportions, I'm glad I waited and let things take their natural course. And I'm also glad I waited because I stayed natty.
Oh, Natty King! Natty King! At the same time, though, increasing your testosterone by working out would probably have some benefits as well, I will say. They would still, it wouldn't hurt, you know? It's great that you didn't do it when you were super young. You grew just fine. But I've said this in a recent video. Bryson, you should start lifting. You should start lifting. Unless you don't want to and don't care, then I guess don't. But as a person who knows the difference in how good I feel when I exercise and when I don't ever exercise, I recommend it to everyone, okay?
One of the disadvantages of long legs is doing squats in the gym absolutely sucks. I have to move the weight much farther than the average person just to get to the proper depth. I was at the gym with my friend that's much shorter than me, and her set of squats was like, okay, I'm done. And then mine were like, oh my God. Cope. That's one. You gotta do 12.
I've heard that before. I had a 6'4" housemate like a long time ago, and I remember talking to him about working out, and he's like, oh, you shorter guys, I'm so jealous. It's easier for you guys to squat and deadlift. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth, mate.
That is so obnoxious and annoying. You have all these biological advantages. Don't act like a shorter person has the cooler, more desirable situation. You don't get that privilege.
But being me comes with advantages too. Since I grew so slowly, everything was more spread out. So I never had growing pains or terrible acne.
It was spread out?
As every person who's ever met me has already pointed out, it'll work out when you're older because you'll be 50, but you'll look way younger.
Yeah.
Which I hope is true.
Yeah.
What if I never look my age? I just look like this until I'm 45, and then boom, I'm an old man. Another advantage
If
of
you
looking
don't
young
keep
I've
working
discovered
out,
since
you
living
will.
on my own is that I can get door-to-door salesmen to leave me alone much faster.
Oh, no way. I never thought of that.
Hello, young man. Are your parents home?
No!
No, they are not. I do love to make fun of Braden because when we're sitting next to each other, he's taller than me. But when we stand up, I shoot past him. Imagine your younger sibling being taller than you. That's embarrassing.
Sad.
Wait, no. And I think it's funny that being tall is associated with doing sports.
Wow! How's the weather up there? Let me guess. Basketball player?
No, I draw pictures. Leave me alone.
That's why martial arts is the illest, because you can be 5'2" and be the best in the world at a sport, you know? So everyone, start fighting. No, I'm just kidding. I wish I knew more about martial arts when I was growing up, because I was like a few inches shorter than everyone else for the longest time. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll never be good at any sports, so why even try? But punching people in the face. They don't make you punch people in the face that are a foot taller than you. You know, you get to literally pick on someone your own size, or they pick on you, depending on who is better at punching the other person in the face. Anyways, guys, I don't condone doing that anyways, unless you want to do it professionally. I recommend learning self-defense. That's important, but I am completely joking about everyone becoming a professional mixed martial artist. Don't do that.
The day I turned 21, I decided to do the rite of passage of going into a bar.
Wow.
I walked up to the bouncer, gave them my ID,
One
and
glass
watched
of
his
water,
brain
please.
Wait. No way. Locked it. Locked it.
That's impossible!
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
That's when Darth Vader tells Luke that he's his father. That's what that clip was.
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
They let me in, and I tried a non-alcoholic beer. Bryson, why didn't you just try a real beer? Because I'm stupid sober. I don't want to know how stupid I am while drunk.
Valid.
Also, people say that when you're drunk, that it's like you, but more. But I'm already too much. That would be way too much.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Hey guys, I love you guys.
That's too many. You had too many, Bryson.
Anyone want to build a Lego set together?
You're still talking about Lego!
I'm leaving. Anyway, the non-alcoholic beer tasted like yeasty, soggy bread water. 0 out of 10. But the wings were good. Then this guy, who could tell it was my first time in a bar, came up to me and said,
Welcome to bar life, son.
I'm glad I caught you. I'm looking for the Black Pearl. Have you seen a ship with black sails and a ghostly glow? I'm gonna round up the scurviest of sailors, and we are going to embark on a mission to find the Black Pearl.
Sheesh. Homie, I'm just trying to eat some wings. Chill.
Welcome to bar life, son.
and I said, thank you. I am never coming back. And even at 23 years old, I'm still growing.
Wow.
I wasn't 6'2" until this year. Who knows?
Wow.
Maybe I'll never stop and I'll be 10 feet tall at age 30. As time goes
Wow.
on, people freak out less about how young I look, but it does still happen from time to time.
How old are you? You look 15.
I'm actually 23.
What? What? Wait,
But
wait, is
my-
that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is? Anyways, is that what that clip was? It was!
But
Oh my gosh, that's what it was!
This moment was brought to you by autism. Autism. Robert has it.
But my height isn't the only thing that's 6'2". My wingspan is also 6'2", so my slap range is pretty good. I don't usually
nice.
slap people, but I could. Not to mention the range of my kicks. That's
Oh,
my
man.
plan for if I'm ever getting robbed.
Do the martial arts,
certainly,
then.
sir. I'll give you my wallet. Whatcha?
Whoa.
If I hug my leg, my knee is higher than my shoulders.
Oh my
Meaning
gosh.
that my femur is longer than my entire torso.
Oh
I've
my
got a tiny body
gosh.
and long legs. But it's fine. Legs are probably more vital to the human body than the torso. Look, see, here we've got
True.
the
Important.
leggy parts, and of course the foot, very vital.
That's
and
important.
meanwhile, the torso only has the heart, lungs, liver, and kidneys. It's totally overrated.
Yeah, no.
Legs are better and more
Unnecessary.
important. Case closed. I'm glad I didn't try to change myself just to fit in, because it helped me learn to love myself unconditionally. And it helped me
good.
find the people who appreciate me for who I was. As
Valid.
time-
That's very important, you know? I'm a keep it real. This is something I have struggled with throughout my life. Trying to fit in when you can be happier finding people who love the person that you are, who love you for you, who don't want you to be more normal, you know? It's what I talked about earlier, right? I don't think Bryson would have made this channel. I don't think I would have made this channel if either of us fit in. You know? Honestly, I think that's a big reason why I identified with Bryson pretty early on watching his stuff, and I felt like I related to him because we both are people who like pursued a creative thing out of kind of like isolation in a sense. Being the only person who is like us in our like friend group or people that we know or whatever. So we have this urge to express ourselves in a way that maybe wouldn't fit in with the rest of the world, right? And it creates some great stuff. So anyways, I'm getting too philosophical, so let's get back to it.
As time goes on, I've discovered that the things that make me unique are the things that I love most about myself.
Yes.
The moral of the story is to remember that your differences make you unique, and you can use them to your advantage. Maybe you'll use your differences to make a funny YouTube video as a random, non-specific example. And it's okay to feel awkward while growing up. I am so glad that I valleyed in high school instead of peaking. Don't be
Nice.
just like everyone else. Be the best you that you can be.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Great. I agree with all this. Oh no, he was asleep at the wheel! He was asleep at the wheel!
Huh?
Jesus,
What happened?
take the wheel!
Oh, me. You also maxed out his silliness stat.
I was not planning on having another perfect reference. I said he fell asleep at
Now in Jesus.
I wasn't even thinking of the song!
Sorry, guys, I have to do it.
Right, I take the wheel, take it from my left. I can't see it on my own. There you go.
Why is it that every time I do a Haminations video now, Jesus Take the Wheel comes up, you know?
Jesus, take the wheel, take it from my head.
Oh, me. You also maxed out his silliness stat. Meh, it's probably fine.
No. After putting all of my data together, I've come up with the answer. We have finally figured out why Haminations looks so young, because he was meant to look young, and someone fell asleep at the wheel. But homies, I don't want you to fall asleep at the wheel, because you have to keep this party going. Here are some more videos of mine that you should watch. This is the full playlist of Haminations videos. If you haven't seen every one, check them out. Here's another video that the YouTube algorithm thinks you'll like, so check that out too. And this is Bryson's channel. Have a good one, friends.